Hello and welcome to the Year 12 presentation evening, an introduction to our sixth form. The purpose of this presentation today is on achieving in the sixth form. My name is Mrs. Norman and I'm the Director of Sixth Form and Assistant Head Teacher, and I have the pleasure of working with your daughters every day. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of your daughters for achieving so well in the GCSEs and getting into the sixth form and joining us at the CHSG. Achieving great grades in GCSE is hard at the best of times, but especially through a pandemic, which they've all been through, and they've all done incredibly well and should be really proud of what they've achieved. I'm really excited to be working with your children and to spend the next part of their journey supporting them and helping them to be really successful in terms of what they like to do post-18. So, the story so far, we've only been back 3 weeks and we've achieved an awful lot. Your daughters have been involved in our first ever team building exercise, which was at the beginning of September, which was a really great event and a really positive start to the year. Last week saw us hold our Macmillan Coffee Morning, and which was really great to see all the fantastic cakes all the girls made, and actually the students raised over £200 towards Macmillan, which was really great. They've also been involved in student council elections this week, so a number of girls have put their names forward to be student council, to represent their forms and student voice, and take other leadership responsibilities within the school and within the sixth form, being ambassadors for the whole school, and again students in our sixth form. We have 5 tutors in Year 12, Mrs Lane, Mr Chisothi, Mr Mahmood, Mrs Sipko Shah and Mrs Stockley. Although we can't have this meeting face to face, I'd really like to take this opportunity to let you know how your daughters are getting on and about the amazing impressions they've made on us in their first 3 weeks at school. I asked the tutors to give me their first impressions and also to let me know what they would like their form to achieve at the end of Year 12. One of them wrote, "They're all showing encouraging signs of maturity. Sat in front of me are young, clever and determined young ladies that are eager to be successful in life." When I asked the tutors to describe their tutor groups, many of them using adjectives, fierce, friendly, pleasant, lively, the list goes on. But I've also taken some of the statements here from the tutors, and when you're ready you can just pause the screen so you can actually take a moment to read what was written. But there are a number of things that come out from what they said, words like cheerfulness, enthusiasm and perseverance, taking the students beyond their comfort zones, looking at leadership roles. We want the girls to be confident, to reflect on their education and also the past few years of their education, and to be excited about the future and how we can support them. So why has this evening been introduced? There are 5 main reasons for this. The first one is that Year 12 is the most challenging year of any child's life in their education. Secondly, there's a huge gap between GCSE and A-level and BTecs. Thirdly, the significant changes in culture and expectations and approach to education between the years of 11 and 12. Changes as a result of COVID and what we need to address to support the students to be successful in both years 12 and 13. And finally, knowledge is power. Your support is essential for your child to meet their potential with us. Okay, so the outline. 3 parts to this. The first bit, I'd like to just talk to you about what's new in Year 12. The second part about the higher education application process. And thirdly, we will look at A-level study and the challenges and revision. So what is new in Year 12? Our roadmap for Year 12 outlines the whole year ahead for the girls. This has been shared on Microsoft Teams and also sent home, and you will also be sent a Year 12 information booklet which will have a copy of the Year 12 roadmap, but also the Year 13 roadmap, just so you get to look at the 2 years ahead while you'll be studying at CHSG. In the roadmap we've put important dates, for example the Parents Information Evening, when we have the Personal Development Days, Parents Evenings, exams, Year 12 Aspirations Week, which is new to the school this year, work experience, and many other dates. Please take the time to look through this, and any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us and ask. At CHSG, we strive for excellence everywhere, every day. We have really high expectations and make no apology for this. Since September 2017, all A-levels are linear. This means that all exams occur at the end of Year 13 and contribute to 100% of the final grade in normal circumstances. Obviously, the last 2 years have been slightly different, but we're currently working under the guidelines that we'll be expecting to do exams as normal and at the end of Year 13. I'd like to take a moment to talk about BTecs. BTecs are available for those students who wish to take a more vocational route through the sixth form. They're the equivalent of A-levels in terms of grades, and all our courses, as you're aware, are level 3. There's a greater emphasis on coursework rather than examinations, and BTecs comprise of both coursework and examinations. And actually, many of your daughters are studying new courses this year, for example, like the BTec Criminology, which has been extremely popular. I'd like to take a moment to talk about minimum expected grades. Based upon historically what the average students in the past have achieved with the same average GCSE point score. This was the very least that the student would achieve. We don't want to cap students, but we want to give them minimum expectations in terms of what we think they can achieve based on their data, but also what we know of the students. Each student will have a MEG for each subject they study, and it'll be the same for every single subject. So, catching up. Your daughters have chosen to study A-levels, BTecs, or a combination of both. But what are we doing now to support them to catch up and to be ready and successful in our sixth form? We've introduced on their timetables ACUs, academic catch-up periods. These are on the timetables once a fortnight. It's a chance for students to work one-on-one with members of staff. We run support sessions. We'll also have guest speakers come in to work with them and to support them. Last year, we introduced assessment periods. These assessment periods are timetabled period 3 every single day, and they're housed in the new Careers Centre. The students will be asked to complete assessment from their subject teachers under exam conditions which will be supervised. What this means is they can complete missing assessments, they can redo assessments under controlled conditions, but it means that lesson time is free for lesson time, so we can teach the curriculum and teach the knowledge and complete assessments in addition to the lesson time that they have. We have a really clear sanctions and rewards policy. Rewards, whenever students get golden tickets, they can negotiate a late start of their choice, which we really encourage. But also we have a really clear sanctions policy, which is really important to maintain our high standards and to support the girls. We have a clear student leadership programme. Within that, the girls can get involved as student voice, perhaps student council, they could aspire to the student leaders, but it gives them a chance to develop skills like confidence, communication, motivation, time management, and develop many transferable skills which they can apply to the courses that they're studying in Year 12 and 13. As you're aware, being on time is really important to us, and we encourage this the whole time during their time at CHSG. Currently, students aren't able to sign out in Year 12, and the reason for this is twofold. The first one, at the moment, we'd like the girls to be in school focusing on their lessons and to build strong study habits and to catch up with that. But also, we want them to get into really good routines with their study. Once we've got established that over the next few weeks, what we'd like to introduce is the girls will then get their sign-up privileges. They've had their photographs taken today, so what we can do then is to make their ID cards, so they've got those, and then we can introduce sign-up privilege to Year 12 moving forward from October half term. Applying to higher education. I mentioned MEGs earlier. Now, MEGs are a significant factor in deciding whether to apply to university and to which university you apply to. However, GCSE performance and the student statement and reference will be the chief influence in Year 13 when students are making applications and offers being made. So all those three components are really important, thinking for both university applications but also for apprenticeships. UCAS and UCAS points. A-levels are worth UCAS points, as are BTecs, and they are the currency to get into university. And in Year 12, in a matter of weeks really, Mrs. Bevan will start working with the students in Year 12 and your daughters to support them to consider post-18 options, whether they want to go to university or perhaps they want to do particular apprenticeships or the world of work. There are other non-A-level qualifications which have UCAS points, for example the extended project which we do in Year 13, and students have the opportunity to be able to do this, and this is worth, for example, 28 UCAS points. Universities' offers come in the form of either UCAS points, grades, or a combination of both. 50% of students in higher education do not have A-levels. Some will just have BTecs, some just A-levels, or some will be a combination of both. There are many different routes in which students can then go into post-18. Russell Group universities. The Russell Group contains many of the United Kingdom's leading universities. 18 of its 22 members are in the top 20 in terms of research funding. It was established in 1994 and is sometimes referred to as the British equivalent of the Ivy League of the United States. Russell Group universities would include University of Bristol, Cambridge, Newcastle University, Manchester University, University of Oxford, Sheffield, Southampton, the list goes on. So, the benefits of applying to Russell Group universities. So what are the benefits of applying to these groups? They conduct some of the most highly rated research in the world, the reputation for academic excellence, they have a higher than average student satisfaction and a lower than average dropout rate, which is really important to look at, first-rate libraries and facilities, and also graduate recruiters ranked 10 Russell Group universities in the top 30 universities worldwide. So how can you help? What can you do if your daughter is considering university? First of all, our best advice would be to be realistic. To look at your daughter's MEGs to get a realistic expectation and read their reports and speak to us. There's no point in setting a standard that's too high, although you want to set ambitious targets. But also, perhaps don't ignore Russell groups, because it could really matter where your daughter gets their degree from. And actually, many students don't know what they want to do in Year 12, which is why they get to work with our careers advisor. But also, we encourage all Year 12 students to apply for UCAS because they can easily pull out or turn down. But if they go through the process of applying, look at the courses available to them, we hope it will broaden their horizons, but also make them realise actually what's available out there and what they can achieve. So, the final part of the presentation. I'd like to talk about, we've looked at A-level study, but I'd like us to focus on challenge and to look at revision. Academically, studying BTecs and A-levels is much more challenging, and students can't just rely on what's given to them by the teacher, as is the case often in GCSE. Students are expected to cover a significant amount of material by themselves. This means using study periods and also working from home and working independently. This requires high levels of self-motivation and discipline, which many students will need support with. Also, this is culturally very different from their previous experience, so we really want to support the students to make them and to help them be successful with us. So, how can you help your daughter to get organised for Year 12? 150 lessons in Year 12, that's an awful lot of studying. That's 450 lessons to get organised for 3 A-levels, and it's the same amount of hours for those to be studying BTecs as well. If you can't organise your notes, and if they can't organise their notes, then it's not going to work and the students aren't going to learn it. We want them to start ready, and we need your support to ask to look at their folders, look at their files online to see how they're organised, but just to make sure they know what they're doing and to help them get organised at the start of this journey. We want the students to be both reactive and proactive. 50% of it will be reactive. Work set by teacher, for example homework, they're going to be reactive and they'll react to that. However, the other 50% is going to be proactive. This is work set by the students themselves. For example, it could be revision work, it could be further reading, it could be research, it could be any extension work. And it's really important they get a balance of both being proactive and reactive. So we want the students to focus on purposeful practice. Purposeful practice should be varied and should be challenging. Revision isn't just highlighting and copying out notes. That's found to be the least effective way of revising and for learning. Revision will involve students testing themselves. The harder they have to think, the harder they have to remember it, and it will have more of an impact in terms of them learning it and making those connections with their learning. We have on Microsoft Teams a special page where we have various documents for revision and also for wellbeing. We really encourage the students to look at these pages and look at these channels, and there's a whole range of resources, again, to help them with specific revision techniques, but also looking at wellbeing and supports for them as well. And during the course of the registrations, for example, last week we've been looking at metacognition and how we learn and how students can better revise and learn and prepare for exams and coursework.
We're fortunate enough to have just recently opened our new career centre, located in A30. The centre is a venue for all our employer and university visits and has an ICT suite where students are encouraged to work on their CVs, apprenticeship and UCAS applications. The Careers Office is where the students can drop in or make an appointment to see myself, Mrs. Phelps-Gardner. I can help them with advice and guidance for their post-18 options. We have an extensive careers programme here at Carshalton Girls. Here's an overview of the Year 12 careers programme. We complete Work Experience Week. Students are assisted to find placements linked to possible future career paths. We have employer talks varying from the Royal Navy to investment bankers. They take part in CV writing sessions. We visit universities to give students an insight into university life and what it's all about. We have sessions that challenge stereotypes. We like to look more at careers that tend to have less female applicants. The students take part in mock interviews. We have a National Apprenticeship Week where we do lots of different activities, including a trip to the National Apprenticeship Show. University outreach teams visit us throughout the year. They're provided by universities across the country. We have a parental careers evening. This is for you to discuss the UCAS process and answer any questions you may have. We like to encourage the use of our new career centre. There's access to careers literature and computers for the students to use, and we have designated drop-in sessions with myself, Mrs. Phelps-Gardner, to support all of the post-18 options.
Hello, I'm Lex Munro, one of the head students here at Carshalton High School for Girls, and I am part of the student leadership team in our sixth form. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our leadership opportunities that we have available. We have a wide variety of opportunities available, from becoming a head student like me, or a deputy head, or a Girls on Board ambassador, or even a prefect. All of our deputy heads and head students have their own area of the school to look after, and this optimises a more positive change towards our school in a better way and in a more organised way. We, for example, one of our deputy heads is right now creating a programme to deal with mental health and well-being, and another one of our deputies has made these mugs, global citizen mugs, that are going towards helping our environment. We also have a lot of support here at Carshalton High School for Girls, especially in the sixth form. We have a very open community that allows us to talk to our teachers, tutors, heads of year, or even heads of department. We have a lot more information about our support on our website in a document that says support and co-curriculum.
So, the final slide. How can you help? How can parents and carers help support your daughters? First of all, by testing them with revision cards and helping support them with revision. By planning, helping them to plan revision schedules, spacing out practice and making sure that students don't just focus on areas that they're doing well in or that they know. Keeping distractions to a minimum, which I know, having two teenagers, isn't easy at all. To promote positive learning and revision habits and help to build these habits and these study habits over time, and they will get there. And also to help the students to be healthy and to stay healthy. I think with a lot of the students as they start in Year 12, it's been our experience that quite a lot are quite surprised by the jump and quite overwhelmed with the new courses. But for a lot of the students, it is a big jump, but it is going to be a case of just focusing on the lessons and taking it one step at a time, and we'll be there to support the students the whole way through. If you've got any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact, in the first place, your tutor, or if you want to contact me directly, please do so and I'll get in contact with you. I will be holding parent forums where we will cover particular areas, because it's really important we get your feedback in terms of what's important to you and what you expect from us as a sixth form for you. And also every fortnight you'll be getting our newsletter, and we'll be continuing to put lots of important information in there, but also celebrating all the amazing things the students have been doing and things that we've got on the horizon in terms of for Year 12. It will be our New Aspirations Week. They'll be able to have more guest speakers in, and obviously visits we can take them on. So we're really looking forward to the year ahead, and I'm really grateful for your support. Thank you for listening, and I hope to speak to you all soon.